dangerous man in the universe to their plan. That's why they tinkled in front of Doug Davis a couple of $1 million. Later on, when I didn't take the bribe, right, to say, hey, don't use that stuff and we'll pay $2 million if you don't do it. Now, literally, people that follow the program, these patriots, our fellow patriots together, I'm amazed you're getting this. You have it down pat. I love that because, see, I don't care about the politicians. They have ADD, and I'll be damned if I'm going to pay $50,000 for a hot dog plate dinner to show up so I can shake a hand and say in 10 seconds, let me tell you what, they're not going to listen. It is not what they do, and they're not going to set the appointments because they don't want it on the books. They don't want to be held accountable. Vivica Culver says it right. So many must know this in the printing process. Where are the whistleblowers? Well, Vivica, that's logic. And when it comes to liberal lunacy and stealing America, logic doesn't apply. So let me tell you how this was done. First off, I have interviewed so many postal inspectors and so many postmasters that have 30, 40-year tenures. They say at the post office, everybody, and of course they have to hide to keep their job because they're government employees. They say the people on the left laugh about literally how you can tell what a Republican vote is or a Democrat vote is, even from the envelope. They just laugh about it. Truly laugh about it. Okay? So there are open secrets all around, and this still has been going on in progression for decades and decades. Now, here comes the shock part. Politicians do not know how this works. It does not take thousands and thousands and thousands of people to do this. Not at all. It takes so few people to do this. It's ridiculous. The very people printing out the ballots at these precincts, thinking they're doing good for the country and whatever they do, they have no idea. They're puppets. The politicians are meat puppets. That's what they are. And somebody's in there wiggling their mouth, telling them what to do. And the politicians do not want to know. They do not care. They do not want to be held accountable. Vicki Johnson said a good one. It's a good analogy. She said in chat, autocorrect is dangerous. Bet it's in the elections too. How many times have you sent an email that said something you didn't really want to say because of that damn autocorrect? Money is what does it. Money is what does it. And when a programmer is told something to program by the upper bosses, they just do it. They do not ask questions. I could change the fate of an entire nation if I had access and if I was a criminal, but I'm not. But it only takes one person with a plan, which they can do for dollars, or they could do for, I just think Orange Man's bad. We got to get rid of him. We got to go to Joe, no brain, poopy pants Biden. And we got to do it by mail order. So we get a mail order president of maladministration. It only takes one person on the voting side. Now, they tell you the states are divvied up, but these companies are incestuous, share employees, share stuff. Why is it that an election official, when they get busted for doing bad, busted for doing crap in an election, why is it that they seem to end up working for the voting companies? Don't you think that would be a blemish on their record? No. The fellow at CISA, whatever his name is, Craigs or Creeps or whatever it was, right? That said it was the most secure election ever, found out, got booted, went to work for the voting companies. And Not only that, started a little consulting company that all these politicians are paying into because now he's about election integrity and we're going to figure it out. That is more circle jerking than a San Francisco movie at the Green Door Theater. I've only heard about it. Anyway, you have to understand the system is corrupt. It takes not a lot of people to do this. And the things they do, they drop in there or they build this feature in there. And if you know the feature, you can use it. You always wonder why Dominion can say our machines we don't make voting machines that connect to the internet. You're right. They don't. He was telling the truth. But because the media continues to tell you it's a Dominion machine, you believe the mind massage. That's why I say I got to give you a mental enema. You believe it, and you think it's a damn machine. It's not, folks. Never has been, never will be. They have nice little electronic parts that do it, but it literally works off software. It's the software. It's the software. It's the programming. Anybody can do it. That's why they can hack a highway sign and it say FJB on a highway sign. Don't you understand this, folks? It's all pre-planned. It's all word sausage. This is what they do. This is how it's done. And that's why I'm going to make you the smartest patriot in the room. And you need to understand I'm the most dangerous one to them. And we must stop this or we're going to lose their country. So if I have to become an election assassin to kill bad, corrupt elections, I'm going to do it. And I need you to help me telling all these guys to cut the crap. Okay, done with the program. Now we can talk. Thank you very much. I hope that was informative, right? Because people always say, and it's literally what even the attorneys generals say to me, well, man, how many people would this take? Because just like most people, they go, wow, they could never do that. That would take thousands and thousands and thousands of people. No, it does not. Give somebody a few $1,000,000, a handful of crackheads, and coverage from politicians and media, and you can literally swing any election in any city. Take a nerd like me, not one hiding out in a biker's body that's dangerous, but a nerd. Let them look into the database and find all the dead voters and find all the people that moved out of state under the guise of, hey, we're going to clean our voter rolls and this is what we have to do. And that nerd who's doing their job hands it over to whoever's responsible at the city, county level or state level or board of supervisors or whatever, and have one board of supervisor that basically says to somebody, I want to investigate that list before we delete anybody. And the reason I want to do that is we cannot disenfranchise anyone. Man, what if we have one person that we take off that list? One person, and they're disenfranchised. God forbid they have a little more melanin in their skin. They will hang us all for civil rights violation. So what I want to do is I'm going to have my team just verify all of this before we take any off. Now the tech guy, now other people's, now the people that took receipt of the list, thinks everybody is doing the right thing. But that one person that now knows where all the dead bodies are buried so they can rise them from the dead and get them to vote, and knows everybody's moved out of state. Why is that? Because they're ones that are not going to be looking for their vote and they're not going to bitch. See, it's all about mitigating risk. They went overboard in Maricopa because so many people came in and were told, wait a minute, we mailed a ballot and you got a ballot and you voted and it came back. You can't vote again. All kinds of stuff. But the canvas showed up to 235,000 ballots that statistically were mailed in by people, never got counted, and it wasn't counted as their vote. What the hell happened? Well, you understand, in that chain of command, it only takes one person that knows, they always say, he's the one who knows where the dead bodies are, to know where that information is and pass it to the nefarious hands. And the nefarious hands take over from there. That's the criminal enterprise part of it. We already know in Maricopa that the call was put out to gang members that they would pay a bounty for every ballot that the gang members collected. Those bounties ranged from $10. We've heard they've gone up to $1,000. And so you got gang members walking the streets, right? And all they do is look in the mailbox and pluck that ballot. And then they collect them and then they sell them and they get paid. Jennifer, you're dead on. Jennifer gets the prize for the day. Jennifer, if you were there, I'd hug you and French kiss you. Okay, I wouldn't hug you. But anyway, Jennifer gets the prize for the day. She says it only takes one person to prevent forensic audits. You're right. It has happened so many times. I just want to puke. And it's not even the rhinos. It's people in clothing of, I'm an election experiment expert now. Hey. It's so funny. I've watched people in the course of this process understand nothing about elections, never do a forensic audit, never do anything else, but all of a sudden now they're a election fraud analyst. So getting back to the ballot stuff, it should be illegal. That's why we have to work on these votes. That's why I'm doing one book for all lawmakers. Here's how you plug every single hole that are wrong with our elections. That is why police were called to a scene and found 18 ballots under a rock hidden that were waiting to be picked up. These were ballots not voted. Luckily, somebody spotted them, called the police took them. They were waiting for the pickup. This was the transfer, the pickup. I can tell you, everybody knew this was coming. We just didn't know how it was going to be pulled off in totality. So now that I've told you, even on the database side, you can have good geeks, you can have good office workers. It only takes one. And if that one gets that list, into the hands of people that are criminals, the criminals take over. That's their job. Vicky says Linwood is still telling people not to vote as a protest against the machines. So freaking stupid. That right there is dangerous to America. If one person believes what Linwood is saying and others, Linwood just stole your vote and you allowed it. Remember, they need two things to go. Do you understand the push-pull here? We need to now vote more than ever. I've told you, I've owned up to my own shit. Never voted for a freaking mayor, city council, school board member in my life anywhere. I was wrong. I helped, in my own part, create the crap we're dealing with. So you have to understand the plan. One group works on changing laws. One group works on plan shedding. The pandemic gimmick, right? One group works on ballot harvesting. One group works on the data, finding dead people. One group over here works on the machines. One group is responsible for taping the window with cardboard. One group works with the judges so they don't do anything because they want you to go, screw it. My vote doesn't count anyway. I'm never voting again. See, it's crooked. Now, you know that's wrong. But people kind of have that shit on themselves attitude. And then you got the other side of the equation. Protest, protest. Don't vote and protest. Protest, protest. Don't vote and protest. It's a con job. And they draft people you believe that have credibility and tons of followers because their particular part of the operation is to get people also not to vote. So there's people that will logically go, we can't say screw it. That's stupid. We have to vote, even if they don't count it. And then they see, Jesus man, don't vote, join the protest, and don't vote and show them you don't like the machines. God will love you. He talked to me this morning and told me in my head to tell you not to vote. It is all a con job. And if you buy for it, if you buy into it, that's your fault. There are people out there right now destroying every single chance of getting this fixed. Every single chance of getting it fixed. That have personally, due to ignorance or operatives or narcissism, stopped full forensic audits. If you don't understand all the ways this can be rigged, you can't just work on one for smoke and mirrors like politicians do. And, oh, we'll fix this one. And look, hey, look what we found. We found a person that voted for their dead mama. And look, we arrested her and she signed a plea deal and she's going to pay a $10 fine and she's going to have a record from now on. I know you say Trump allowed this to happen. I can tell you from a security standpoint, it was unknown how much would be done. And President Trump has no say in whether the states go all mail-in ballot. Do you understand that? You must understand how elections work. We do not have one election. We have an election for every state, and that's just the top level because you have it for every county and then every precinct. They're all different elections. 10,000 plus individual ballot styles in Maricopa alone. Oh, no. I live in New Mexico, and if I tell people they can look at it with their godly eyes, they'll be able to know every change. I could have done Maricopa. Hell, I can remember all 10,500 changes in the ballots. Keep them in my mind. Keep them in my brain. 2,089,000 times. Oh, pray. It's ridiculous to think that any one man, person, or system can do this. And the naivety and the total lack of understanding of how they work. I do not need to go to the county board's website or the ballot paper people's website, printed website, and read about bleeds, and they say, it doesn't, we only read the oval, and it's perfect, and it's great. And to be a idiot with 3 degrees from MIT and say, it only reads the oval. I love me. It only reads the oval. I love me more than anything else. It only reads the oval. All those guys are stupid and dumb. Rig, deep state, Illuminati. They sent people out on the streets to all of the people that were getting their names made in this movement to teach them, no, it only reads the oval. You know who they didn't come see? This guy, because I'd have kicked their ass right out the door. And so what happened? All of these little bitty people out there that are now instant experts in election. I am a fraud investigator. Reminds me of the State Farm commercial. I'm a French model. And they asked the girlfriend, how do you know he's a French model? Well, I read it on the internet. That's the kind of crap that's going on in this election integrity stuff. No concept, believing what the system says instead of verifying it, instead of researching it, instead of testing it scientifically to prove it.